सो गाइस वेलकम टू माय चैनल एकेडमी अड्डा। काफ़ी टाइम बाद मैं एक लाइव क्लास स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ और काफ़ी टाइम भी लग गया था। एक बंदा वॉच कर रहा है तो कहाँ से मेरे में इतना इंटरेस्ट आएगा कि मैं नई नई क्लासें अपलोड करूँ। जो लास्ट क्लास हुई थी वो 7 महीने पहले, यू कैन सी 36 व्यूज़ थे। और उससे पहले जो वीडियोस बनाई थी मैंने कुछ हफ्तों पहले, लाइक 7 महीने, एक हफ्ते पहले, वो 52-56 व्यूज़ लेके आ रही है। सो थोड़ा सा ना मन नहीं करता है अपलोड करने का और कंटेंट अपलोड करने का या बनाने का। बट फिर भी अ, कुछ चीज़ें प्लान कर रहा था, लाइक आई एम प्लानिंग टू सेट अप अ न्यू नेटवर्क फॉर द बिगनर्स। और लाइक कोई भी नया प्रोजेक्ट आता है तो आप कैसे काम कर सकते हो, कैसे चीज़ों को सेम पेज पे ला सकते हो। फॉर दैट व्हाट वी विल बी डूइंग, आज हम एक लाइव क्लास प्लान करेंगे कि कैसे कोई भी नेटवर्क सेटअप होता है और क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं दैट वी यूज़ टू सेटअप अ नेटवर्क। और उसके लिए मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ, आई विल बी इंक्लूडिंग चैट जीपीटी इन दैट। सो चैट जीपीटी का हम यूज़ करेंगे, ठीक है। उससे पूछेंगे कि कैसे हम चैट जीपीटी को यूज़ कर सकते हैं और चैट जीपीटी का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं अपने किसी भी काम के लिए, आइदर वो डे टू डे टास्क हो या कोई सा भी काम हो। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। सो वेलकम मुकेश, हाउ आर यू? हाय मुकेश, हाउ आर यू? मुकेश, आई एम ऑडिबल?
जी सर, ऑडिबल।
क्या हाल चाल, बहुत दिनों बाद।
हेलो।
मैं कह रहा हूँ बहुत दिनों बाद आए आज, या मैं बहुत दिनों बाद
हाँ
दिखाई दिया हूँ?
सर। सर वो मीटिंग बहुत दिनों बाद हो रही है ना, इसलिए बहुत दिनों बाद दिखे।
चलो, तो बेसिकली आज का जो एजेंडा है फॉर द क्लास, व्हाट वी आर प्लानिंग कि हमें ना कोई भी नेटवर्क सेटअप करना है। तो नेटवर्क सेटअप करने के लिए क्या क्या चीज़ें रिक्वायर्ड होती हैं, ठीक है। तो नेटवर्क सेटअप करने में कुछ चीज़ें रिक्वायर्ड होंगी, जैसे कि प्लान करना, सेटअप क्या है, क्या क्या चीज़ें लगी हुई हैं। सो दैट वी विल डिस्कस टुडे, ठीक है। उसमें आज हम चैट
ओके
जीपीटी
सर।
का भी यूज़ करने वाले हैं कि चैट जीपीटी का यूज़ करके हम कैसे कम टाइम में कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट को एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं स्मार्टली। तो ये आज का एजेंडा है, ठीक है।
ठीक है सर।
तो आई होप मेरी स्क्रीन विजिबल होगी। नहीं है तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, स्क्रीन विजिबल कर देता हूँ। और जो भी हम लैब करने वाले हैं,
सर स्क्रीन।
okay, so Ajit is asking, can you teach in English? Definitely, I can dance in English, I can walk in English, so definitely this class will be in English. मुकेश, बीच बीच में थोड़ा सा मैं हिंदी में will connect, okay?
ओके
So
सर।
this is my channel and you can subscribe my channel. Academy अड्डा बहुत पुराना है and just simply you have to go on Google, type Academy अड्डा, अड्डा लगा लेना। तो यहाँ पे टॉप पे भी हम ही दिखाई देंगे आपको, ठीक है। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट फॉर हाउ टू सेट अप अ नेटवर्क, बेसिकली दैट इज़ द एजेंडा फॉर टुडेज़ क्लास। सो ये मैं डिलीट कर रहा हूँ। आई थिंक मेरी स्क्रीन विजिबल होगी। हाय अजित, माई स्क्रीन इज़ विजिबल? यस, ओके, परफेक्ट। एंड वी आर स्ट्रीमिंग ऑन यूट्यूब एज वेल। सो हम कुछ चीज़ें डिस्कस करते हैं पहले, लाइक हाउ टू सेट अप अ नेटवर्क एंड व्हाट आर द रिक्वायरमेंट। सो लेट मी ओपन द पेंट। इन पेंट आई विल लेट यू नो कि अभी करंट सेटअप क्या, व्हाट इज़ द करंट सेटअप करंटली दैट वी हैव। सो इन करंट सेटअप वी हैव अ firewall, then we do have a switch, and उसके नीचे एक और स्विच है, and we do have all the connected networks downwards. Now on the firewall what we have done, we have distributed two broadband connection, connection 1 and the connection 2. This is the broadband. So on core level, we have installed all the VLAN. We have configured the VLANs, like suppose VLAN 111, VLAN
Sir,
12.
we can't able to see your screens.
Okay,
Full screen only is displayed.
okay, let me share it again. Hope this is visible now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So we have a setup: firewall, core switch, access switch, and we have two internet links: backbone, broadband connection 1, broadband 2, and we have configured switch on a few VLANs on core VLAN 11, VLAN 2, 12, and multiple VLAN that we have configured on the access switches. We have some user connected, access point connected over there. So this is the basic setup that we will configure today. And let take the chat GPT help कि कैसे ये काम करता है. So what I will do open chat and I will command him. So I want to set up a new network for a client in Delhi. So they have core switch, access switch, and two broadband connection. Okay, do suggest me how I can plan my project to set up the नेटवर्क. सो बेसिकली चैट जीपीटी का हम यूज़ करके थोड़ा सा एक हिंट ले लेंगे. अगर आपको नहीं मालूम है, इफ़ यू आर अ न्यू एंड आपको कोई प्रोजेक्ट मिला है एंड आप यू वांट टू नो कि हाउ आई कैन एग्जीक्यूट माय प्रोजेक्ट without any issues or challenges. So just you have to simply hit enter. So it will suggest you what are the steps you have to take while uh, implementing a project or implementing a network. So first of all, what he suggested, like chat gpt, setting up a network for a client in Delhi sounds like exciting project. Here are the step-by-step plan. So first plan is assessment and the planning. Understand the client requirement, determine the number of user, types of devices, and bandwidth requirement. So first of all, like we have to do subnetting. Subnetting in the sense कि अगर हम कोई subnet लेंगे, so how many users will be there, what kind of services will be doing there, right? So I will discuss one by one. Identify the physical layout, survey of the site in the client premises to determine the location of core switches, access switches, and broadband connection. Selecting equipment, core switches, like now what we have done, now my current user is 50 and they are saying that we will be having more like 50 clients again. So total number of clients will be 100 in future as well. And what kind of bandwidth, what kind of application they will be using, that we need to analyze. Because if suppose I'm streaming a YouTube video right now and how much bandwidth I'm taking, let me show you. So we can see that on Ethernet we are taking 3.5 3.4 Mbps max to max to deliver the HD quality video on YouTube. Max throughput was 7.7 Mbps, and let's suppose if we will be having 100 users and they would be broadcasting YouTube video at the same time, so we can uh, you know suggest कि भाई it will take 10 Mbps per user. If you have 100 users, then you must have 1 Gbps connection or 1200 Mbps connection to support the user at the same time without any issues. And like if we have broadband 1 only, in case we are streaming all the YouTube videos to the YouTube and this link goes down, so we must have a different backup link as well. So in enterprise level, what they do, they have ILL connection, not the broadband connection. So the uptime of the ILL is 99% and they are managed by the big ISPs like Airtel, Jio, Tata, Reliance and many more. So these are the strategy that we should follow before planning a network or the project. So we need to, this is the must, design the network topology, how the network will be there, like how the network cabling will be done, how the switch will be connected to the firewall, access switch to core switch, access point to switches and many more. Plan the VLAN segregation that I ask you, that we have VLAN 11, VLAN 12 and many more. Configure the subnetting, allocate the IP address and ranges each subnet efficiently, manage the IP and reduce the broadcast domain. To reduce the broadcast domain, we create multiple VLANs to segregate the network. A part of that, we can monitor, we can manage the big network in smaller chunks. That's the advantage of using VLAN in our network. Now, installation and the configuration. Install the core switches, access switches, broadband connection to the designated location. Either it could be a server room, it could be a spare space, or it could be anywhere, depend on the operation. Configure the core switch, VLAN, routing protocols and the quality of services that you must configure. Configure the access switch configuration as per the VLAN that you have assigned it. Security implementation, if we need to create tunnels, that we can do. If we need to configure the access list, that can be configured, right Ajit? So I hope you are aware with the ACLs if you have done CCNA and CCNP. And the post, we must have to do testing and optimization. We can test failover if we have multiple links. Optimization that can be done, we can set some policies to the router or the firewall level. We can document all the project information, topology and everything after the project delivery or at the time of project delivery. Maintenance and support we can do on the weekly basis or the monthly basis as well. So this is the parameter that we follow while delivering a project. Okay, so just let me open the packet tracer. I will performing this lab on packet tracer because my GNS is not set up. I am not sure ki last time when I used it, so I guess this should work, but we don't have any devices in GNS, so I will leave it. So first I will have a router. थोड़ा सा zoom कर लेते हैं. Routers, I will not keeping any firewall as of now. So what I will do, I will use a L3 device here and below that I will use a access switch, and for the testing purpose I will be using a PC, and for wireless setup I will be using a laptop that will be connected to my core switch. And one more thing what we can do, we can keep WLC Meraki 65. This is the firewall basically. So what I'm planning, I'm just thinking how it will connect, how it will. So this is the controller that we do not need now. So I will delete this WLC. Access point we need. Okay, so first of all, what we will do, we will be doing cabling. So I will connect router to the switch, switch to the router, and switch to the access point. And one more thing, what we can do, we can connect this PC to the system. Okay, so what we can do, we can configure our setup like this, small manner. Now the first step that we should take, assessment we have done, now we have to configure the VLAN information and all. Okay, so now I need to note down the details that do we have here. So what do we have? We have some configuration फाइल है, तो इसको मैं भी डिलीट कर देता हूँ. Mukesh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
कुछ पूछना वगैरह है?
नहीं अभी तो कोई.
ठीक है. सो अभी मैं क्या प्लान कर रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ लिस्ट देख रहा हूँ जिसमें वी शुड हैव अ नेटवर्क डिटेल कि कैसे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन करना है. सो अभी क्या करते हैं, वन बाय वन। लेट सपोज मैं इस राउटर को कॉन्फ़िगर करता हूँ, रूटर 1 ISP, इसका आईपी देते हैं 192, सॉरी 192 192.168.0.1/24 का नेटवर्क दे देते हैं और इसको अब कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं। सो पैकेट ट्रेसर के जो रूल्स हैं दैट विल बी सेम। इसको कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं, नो enable. Now we need to go to the configure terminal, config t show IP interface brief, sorry config mode में नहीं चलता ये, show IP int br. So we can see, इसको थोड़ा सा बड़ा कर लेते हैं। So we have port 0/0 and F is 0/2. These both are the ports that are connected to each other. So now I need to configure 0/0, okay, this port only, and which is down currently. So I will go to config terminal, interface G/G, Ethernet 0/0, IP address 192.168.0.1. Then I will keep subnet mask 255.255.255.0. I will hit enter. Then I will run a command no shut down. जैसे ही मैंने no shut down command दबाई, then this interface came up. Okay, that's it. Now I need to configure DNS server. Okay, IP DHCP, IP DHCP. Now I want to run a DHCP to that router ताकि वो configuration command ले ले, ठीक है। Okay, so now we have to run command IP DHCP pool. Then we will name the pool Academy Adda. Okay, now what's the command? Then we have to set the network detail over here, but I don't want to create a DHCP here. I will create that DHCP thing on switch, because this switch is L3, and what I will do, I will forward all the route towards this ISP only as of now. So the same thing what I will do here. So first we need to configure the host name core switch, enter. Now it will rename. Now we need to check show IP, do show IP int br. So if we are in configure terminal, then the do show command will work. Okay, so we need to configure FA01 and we need to configure this part as well. Okay, so first what we will do, we will configure int FA0/1 IP address IP. IP DHCP कौन सा स्विच है?
सर नो स्विच पोर्ट चलानी पड़ेगी इस इंटरफेस पर।
कौन सी पे?
जिस इंटरफेस के अंदर है ना, उस पर नो स्विच पोर्ट चलानी पड़ेगी, तो वो स्विच का पोर्ट नहीं रहेगा, फिर उसका आईपी नहीं।
Okay, config T. Okay, so that port will not work as a trunk, right? IP address interface FA0 by 1 IP address. Okay, now it's working. Thank you. 192.168.0.2 subnet mask 255.255.255.0 no shut. And what we can do, configure terminal interface FA0 by 1. इसका description लिख देते हैं, description connected to router ISP 1, and now we will try to ping 192.168.0.1. ये नहीं आएगा because what configuration we have done here. Okay,
80% पिंग आया है सर, 1%
आ गया. Okay, so the connectivity for this switch to ISP, it's reachable. Okay, now what we have to do, okay, now we have to create a VLAN, multiple VLANs here, right? Then all the network will VLANs will forward to ISP. So let me keep fuse IP here. Let's suppose so I am keeping some VLAN details here. So let's suppose mgmt network management, इसका IP होगा 10.8.0.0/24. Then we will keep a transition VLAN, and its ID will be 99 and IP will be, let's suppose 10.10.10. अभी इसको रहने देते हैं. Let's suppose we are creating IT. IP address will be 10.8.7.0/24 sales 10.8.8./24 इसको भी 25 ही ले लेते हैं and we will keep IT VLAN name is VLAN 11 sales VLAN 12 okay let's start so okay now we are facing this challenge error so how we can remove this you know the command Mukesh
सर कंट्रोल शिफ्ट 6
control 6 F6
अगर हो
no it's not working
हाँ कंट्रोल से सर वो अब वर्क करता ही नहीं है पहले करता
so sometime we need to keep some pause break and all let's wait so what we can do now we have to keep two different network here like let configure it
Forward.
what I will do I didn't keep the name of this switch yet so for that what we are planning we will keep this switch as 1 on this switch 802 okay ये हो गया इसका okay now it's there config t now we need to configure the interface of this switch right so what is the command Mukesh I forgot everything
वीएन के लिए सर कमांड
no I just want to keep the IP of the switch 10.8.0.1
बाय डिफॉल्ट वीएन के लिए है तो सर मैनेजमेंट टाइप ये
so
वाली
that will be VLAN 1 so interface VLAN
1
1 IP address 10.8.0.1 255.255.255.0 no shut and so we have configured VLAN 1 on the switch now I want to configure different VLAN config t again the same command meanwhile what we can do we can configure this switch enable config t host name access switch 1 name changed config already we are in config mode. Interface VLAN 1 IP address 10.8.0.2 incomplete command because we missed subnet mask. Okay, so let me check either I am able to hit core switch or not. Okay, config T interface. Sorry, we don't need to configure in the interfaces now. What we will do, we will create a VLAN IT VLAN. Okay, so first of all we need to, sorry,
11 VLAN का नाम पूरा नंबर सुनाओ।
VLAN 11 and we name IT. Now what's the command?
फिर इंटरफेस VLAN 11 का ट्राई एग्जिट करके एग्जिट
Interface VLAN 11 IP address 10.8.7.0.1 and we will be using /2425, then we keep 255.255.255.128. Okay, what we have done, okay, no shutdown and config T VLAN name, sorry, VLAN ID 12 name sales exit interface VLAN 12 IP address 110.8.8.1 and again we are using a /25, then we will be keeping subnet 255.255.255.128. no shutdown exit. Okay, so what we have done, we have created two VLANs on this. How we can verify? Show VLAN BR. So we can see we have created two VLANs here and they all are active currently. Okay, so same way we can create multiple VLANs. Let's create one more. HR VLAN 13 10.8.9.0/25 and the same we will configure here. Config T VLAN 13 name HR exit config T interface VLAN 13 IP address 110.8.9.1 subnet mask 255.255.255.128. no shut end. So again we will check show VLAN BR. So we have created three VLANs here. Okay, so now we need to take all the VLAN configuration that we have made on core switch should be configured on access switch 1. So how it will work? What we will do, first of all we will check show VLAN BR. So by default these are the VLAN details that is configured on access switch 1 and I have already configured the VLAN on core switch. Now I want to bring all the VLAN details on access switch. How we can configure? Anyone having the idea? Hi Ajit and Shresh. Do you know how we can bring all the VLAN information from core switch to access switch? Any command, any term, or any technology that we can configure on access switch 1 to get all the VLANs detail over there?
BTP.
Okay. Suresh, are you on call? Hi Suresh.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how we can bring all the VLAN information to the access switch from core switch?
Yes, a small idea, but 24 LAN switch is not configured now, sir.
24 LAN means?
Yeah, you selected the switches, sir.
Okay. So see,
It's not.
this switch, what we can do, be on call, don't mute yourself. So we have already configured the interface VLAN. Okay, we have configured this IP here, you can see. Okay,
Yeah.
now what we need to do, we need to bring all the VLANs detail from core switch to access switch. So for that we use VLAN trunking protocol. Okay, that is
Yes, sir.
VTP. Okay, now I am the new guy and I am not sure about the configuration. So how we can do, let me take you through with the chat GPT. Okay, so don't feel ki if you don't know anything, just go to the Google and do the chat GPT. It's as simple as. Now send your command. Now you can mute yourself. Okay, I want to get all the VLAN information from core switch to my access switch, and they both are connected. So let's see how ChatGPT can help us.
BTP डोमेन करके कमांड चलती है.
Right, but for that we need to configure that port as a trunk. Okay, so let's configure these both port as a trunk. Okay, so we are on core
सर
switch.
पहले BTP की कॉन्फ़िगरेशन डालो सर.
Sorry,
BTP की कॉन्फ़िगरेशन डालो, फिर ट्रंक को आप करना, फिर शेयर हो जाएगा.
what we can do, we can check first. So let's check the VTP status first. VTP, show VTP status. So it's saying that this is a server. So and core is also a server. Show do show VTP stat. It also a server. Okay. Now I don't want to join the domain, so let me configure this port as a trunk first. So let's see either without doing configuration of VTP it will work or not. Okay Mukesh, so we are on config T, we are on port number 1, so we will configure interface FA 0 by 1. Okay, and we will configure as a switch port mode trunk. Okay, now it will be taking, see now it's negotiating. Okay, we can see it's trying to negotiate, that's why it's showing purple or orange. So what I will do, I will configure, I have configured the switch port mode as a trunk. So let's see either we are getting the detail or not. Show VLAN, we are not yet, because we didn't configure the same command to this port. So we need to configure interface FA 0 by 2 switch port mode trunk. So what it's saying that an interface whose in trunk encapsulate is auto cannot be configured mode trunk. समझाना यार, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
इस पे ना वो एनकैप्सुलेशन डॉट वन की वाली कमांड चलेगी, फिर चलेगी
On
वाली.
which port? Port
हाँ
this.
इसी पोर्ट में. हाँ
ठीक
हाँ.
है. So the command is switch port mode
एनकैप्सुलेशन
encapsulate चलेगी.
एनकैप्सुलेशन मोड डाउन. स्विच पोर्ट ट्रंक एनकैप्सुलेशन
Switch port trunk encapsulation आगे
डॉट
dot
डॉट वन
one.
की.
Now it will be forwarding
स्विच पोर्ट
all the
मोड
detail.
ट्रंक.
Switch port mode trunk and okay. Now we need to check either it's getting the detail or not. Show VLAN BR. No, it's not forwarding the VLAN details.
एक्सेस स्विच को हमें क्लाइंट बनाना पड़ेगा सर पहले.
So for that we need to do VTP configuration, right? So
पहले
let's
सर कोर पे ही करनी है.
okay. So we are on core switch config T VTP mode server. It will be saying it's already server. So what's the command? Again I will go to the chat GPT.
सर एक कमांड और चलेगी बीटीपी डोमेन करके.
VTP domain
डोमेन जो हम देंगे.
academy dot in. Now it's changing and now
अभी स्टेटस चेक करो.
on this
इस पे तो सर ऑटो सर्वर क्लाइंट बनाना पड़ेगा इसको बीटीपी में अंदर जाके.
VTP config T VLAN sorry VTP mode client. Okay, but again it will not take because we have to configure the VTP configuration as well. Show VLAN brief. Now see, we are now getting the VLAN information to access switch as well. Okay, we can see, right? So what we have to do, just we have to configure the core switch as a VTP mode and we need to configure the domain. Okay, so we can secure this as well by with some configuration. Now just we need to go on another switch like access switch. It will take all the information automatically. How can we verify this? So let's take another switch, fresh switch. Okay, and I'm just keeping it here, connecting to switch, done. And let's keep this switch IP as 3 as of now. Enable config T. Okay, host name access switch to. Now what we will do, we will configure the first interface. So interface VLAN 1 IP address 110.8.0.3 255.255.255.0 no shut end. Now we have configured the IP of the switch. Now we need to check either we are getting the show VLAN brief. So it's showing that we do not have any VLANs detail over there. Okay, so first need to configure that FA01 as a trunk. Okay, config T switch port, sorry, need to select interface FA0 by 1 switch port mode trunk, and okay, now we need to check again. So it's negotiating, let's wait for turning it green. Now the color has been changed and the port came up. Okay, so let's hit the command again, show VLAN brief. So we are not getting any VLAN information. This port will be configured as a exit config T interface FA0 by 3 switch port mode trunk. It will not take that command, so what we need to do, switch port mode encapsulation switch port encapsulation
switch port trunk, sir.
switch port trunk encapsulation .1q switch port mode trunk, and let's test again. It's not taking. So how it will take, we need to go to access switch 3 VTP mode client, and so let's see. Now when we have changed the VTP mode, it's automatically taking the VLAN configuration. Okay, so that's proved. Any doubt? Okay, so we have allowed config T. Now I have to create a DHCP pool. So whenever the sales user and the HR user will come, they should get all the IP allocation automatically. So on which VLAN we have configured the IT, so that is interface VLAN 11 IP DHCP.
सर कॉन्फ़िगर मोड पे चलेगी?
कॉन्फ़िगर में तो था, मैं कॉन्फ़िग में,
नहीं, वो इंटरफेस के अंदर थे ना, VLAN के अंदर।
वेट, config T, ओके, लेकिन ओके वेट, now I need to configure 3 DHCP server. Okay, now it will not work on interface, so how I can configure IP DHCP server IP DHCP pool IT lease time network 10.8.0, okay, 7.0, and IP will subnet will be 255.255.128. Now we have configured that IP DHCP.
गेटवे दिया जाएगा डिफॉल्ट
Already done ना. Default router will be whatever the IP of that gateway 8.7.0 or 1. Now
डीएनएस भी दे दो देना
DNS server 8.8.8. Next
एक्सक्लूडेड वाली कमांड देनी है क्या
DNS server already nahi, I don't want that. Okay, default route we have done. Okay, and okay, now we need to configure another IP DHCP pool HR network 10.8.9.0/25. Default router will be the gateway of that router. DNS 8.8.8 and config IP DHCP pool sales and network will be 10.8.8.0/25. Default router will be 10.8.8.8 and so let's see the whatever the configuration that what we have made. So we have configured port as a 1 and this port will be working as a trunk. 3 also work as a trunk. We have configured VLAN 1, VLAN 12 and 13. Okay, so few more things that we can do for better understanding. Config T interface FA0/2 description we can add connected to access switch 1 and config T we can configure to 3 access switch 2 exit and we can configure 1 connected to ISP. Already we have done that, so let's check show run. So once we will log into the switch we can see this port is connected to the ISP1, this port is connected to switch access switch 1 and this is connected to access switch 2. Okay, so it will be better for the understanding. Now we can test it. Okay, अभी as of now हाँ
सर ये अभी एक्सेस स्टेज पे जो हमारे पोर्ट है ना पीसी और एक्सेस पॉइंट जो हमारा लगा हुआ है वो वीलन में डालने पड़ेंगे।
हाँ मैं वही डालने जा रहा था। सो मैं अभी क्या करता हूँ, एक्सेस पॉइंट हटा देता हूँ, ठीक है।
हाँ।
एंड व्हाट वी कैन डू, we can keep few pieces here to test it. ओके, वायरलेस का टेस्ट बाद में करेंगे और एक यहाँ लगा देते हैं। ओके, so now I want to get okay, I need to keep it in IT VLAN, and I want to get IP in sales VLAN, and I want to get IP from in HR VLAN. Okay, so how we can do, just simply we need to allow we need to configure the switch port, or we need to allow that VLAN configuration to the particular port. Okay, so we want this IP for the IT VLAN, and IT VLAN is VLAN 11. So we will go to the switch 11, switch 1, config T, interface F0 by 1, switch port mode access, because this port will be accessed. Okay, and switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 11, no shut end, and we want FA02 in sales VLAN. So we will do exit, go in switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 12, no shut, exit. Now we will see show VLAN BR. So you can see FA01. Okay, so by mistake we have done some mistake, because this port is configured as a trunk port, and we have made that. So what we need to do, we need to reconfigure it again. That's why we are getting error here, VLAN mismatch discovered on FA01 core switch 2. So config T, now we will go to FA port 1 and no switch port mode access, okay, let's wait, show running config, we will remove these commands here. So in notepad Control C and Control paste. So we will go to no, oh no, no, and no. So this command we will be running, copy, and we will go in config T and we'll paste this command. Okay, so now we will check show VLAN brief. So automatically this VLAN 1 port 1, it's aligned to VLAN 1, and we don't have any ports in VLAN IT and sales. So what we need to do, we need to keep FA02 in IT and FA02 in sales, FA03 in IT VLAN and FA02 in VLAN 12. That we need to remove no command from here. Control C copy, and we will paste this command here. Config T paste and show VLAN brief. Now it's showing we have FA03 in IT, FA02 in sales. Okay, so we have configured the VLAN as well. Now we need to check the IP address. So let's see that we are getting the IP address from DHCP automatically or not. No, we are not getting the IP address. Yeah, now we got that. See, we got the IP address automatically from which VLAN? VLAN 11 from IT. So let's go to PC7. Now we have configured. Okay, now we got the IP address default gateway 8 where from sales, and the IP address is 2. Okay, now let's test either we are able to ping or not to the core switch. Ping 10 dot. So I'm currently hitting the IP of IT VLAN. Okay, 10.8.7.1. Yes, I am reachable to my gateway. Okay, now I want to go to the core switch 0.1. Yes, I am reachable to my core switch. Okay, now my connectivity is reachable to this and reachable to this. Now I want to hit the ISP router. Is it possible to hit right now? Let's see. Ping 192.168.0.1. So it's not pinging right now. So we need to troubleshoot. First, let's configure this port as well. So we will go to core switch, access switch, and what we need to do is so now we are on access switch 2. Enable config T. We need to configure interface FA0 by 2. It is there, interface. Okay, config T. Hey, yaar. So Mukesh, can you do let me know why I'm not able to ping that ISP router? Because
सर
हाँ,
राउटिंग करनी पड़ेगी यहाँ पे,
sorry,
राउटिंग करनी पड़ेगी सर यहाँ पे।
between core switch to my ISP, right? Okay.
वो क्योंकि एक ही switch पे जो हमारे रूट मिल रहे हैं ना, वो एक राउटिंग टेबल में नहीं होंगे।
So how we can check the route?
चेक करके देख लो एक बार।
What is the
3
command?
रूट आ रहे हैं, सो आईपी रूट करके।
Show IP route. We don't have any route here.
आईपी राउटिंग कमांड चलानी पड़ेगी पहले तो कॉन्फ़िगर मोड पे।
IP.
एलसीसी
Why I'm hiding that configure that IP? IP routing.
आईपी
IP.
राउटिंग PING।
It's right.
हाँ,
Okay. Let's check again.
सो आईपी रूट चेक करके देखिए बस।
It's still I'm not able to hit it.
एक बार स्विच पे सर रूट चेक करना दोबारा।
Okay. So show IP route. Now we are getting the route detail because we have enabled the IP routing to L3 switch, right? So it's saying that we have this route connected automatically. So let's ping the switch router as well, 92.68.0.1. Okay, so core switch is able to hit that router, but these switches or this are not able to reach. What could be the reason? Do you know?
सर
So
राउटिंग करनी पड़ेगी
okay,
राउटर पे और हमारे
ठीक है.
कोई भी
So
राउटर प्रोटोकॉल।
I need this in VLAN 13. So what I will do, interface config, already it's in the switch port mode, access switch port, access VLAN 13, and now what I will do, I will go to the switch, I will keep it DHCP, setting DHCP. So let's see we will be getting the IP address or not. Oh sorry,
सर ये इंटरफेस नहीं डाला है।
no, interface is there. What could be the reason? Show IP interface brief. Let's troubleshoot it. So FA02, this is up. FA01 is already up, and that is good. Show running config. So what we are checking, switch port mode trunk, switch port mode access, right? So it should access VLAN 13, right? Now VLAN BR, show VLAN BR. We are getting the VLAN configuration as well. So now we got the IP address. Okay, it's take time because some where the DORA process take time. So now we need to hit the core switch, as simple as. If we are able to hit our core switch, definitely it work. Now I am able to communicate locally, but I am not able to hit the ISP router, right? So I need to configure the IP routing. So what I will do, I will go to the core switch, configure T, IP route. I will configure the IP route, basically static route. So I will hit the command 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0, यानी कि I will use source. I will take the, what is the command of static route? destination, then the subnet mask or the exit interface that we need to do. So where we need to go? I need to go somewhere on the internet. Okay, so I will hit IP route 0.0.0. This is a default route and it's showing complete. Now it's completely done. Let's test.
सर राउटर पे रूट चेक करना सर, कौन कौन सा आ रहा है?
एक मिनट, कोर स्विच पे या राउटर पे?
आईएसपी पे।
आईएसपी को मेरे राउटर से क्या मतलब है? शो आईपी रूट ओनली द कनेक्टेड रूट्स।
सर यहाँ पे ना कोर स्विच पे डिफॉल्ट रूट है, दो एक 00 वाला।
मैंने डाल दिया अभी,
स्विच पे डालना है। अच्छा हाँ,
आईपी रूटिंग मैंने कर दी है डिफ़ॉल्ट। तो सारा ट्रैफिक इंटरनली मेरा आउट हो जाना चाहिए बाहर, है ना? So I am able to hit this interface only. Okay, what I will do, I will do IP configuration. I will add a static route as well. This port is up, that port is up.
सर जो थर्ड जो आपने अभी डिफॉल्ट रूट वाली कमांड डाली थी, सर उसमें नेक्स्ट होप दिया जाता है या फिर 00 वाला?
It depends. First of all, that will be source, sorry, destination, subnet mask or exit interface or the next hop IP address. बाकी एक काम करते हैं, इसको दोबारा चेक कर लेते हैं। IP route 0.0.0. Now subnet mask 0.0.0. Now the exit interface or that port. So you can configure the IP address as well, or what we can do, we can configure the exit interface. So let's type FA 0/1 and no test. 2 is reachable, 1 is not reachable. Show IP route. See, I have configured the static route as well. What could be the reason? So let's check the configuration.
सर मुझे ये पता है कि नेक्स्ट होप आईपी दी जाती है।
Sorry,
नेक्स्ट होप आईपी दी जाती है।
you configured the default route wrong, Ajit. Now what's the last command we have configured? So let me show you. Show running configuration. Do please correct.
सर एक बार मैं गूगल से चेक करके देखता हूँ।
अरे वो तो ठीक है, you need to delete IP route. Okay, no,
ये पोर्ट सर,
we do configure on the exit interface, right?
एग्जिट पोर्ट बोल रहा है राउटर का, जाने दो। एक बार चेक कर लो सर।
Static route syntax.
नेक्स्ट होप एड्रेस है।
See, destination network 0/0 subnet mask, next hop IP address. Like you told us that सामने वाले का IP जाएगा, that is 192.168.0.1, or we can configure exit interface as well. So I have added the exit interface right now. If we will see on multi-layer switch, I have configured the exit interface. Okay, and this could be different. So what I am doing, I am just deleting this command. Okay, and config t no config t no IP root, enter, and show running. So what we have done, IP root, next hop IP address, subnet mask, or exit interface. So let's test. You configure default route, check once syntax. Fast Ethernet, मेरा traffic is going from this route. Syntax is destination network, subnet mask, next hop IP address, or exit interface. So let's suppose to create a static route for destination network 192.168.0.0.6 via IP. So what we can do, this is my route, subnet mask, or this, or IP route, this exit interface, और नेक्स्ट हॉप IP एड्रेस. तो एक काम करते हैं, ये जो बोल रहा है उसकी कमांड चला के देखते हैं. यानी कि आई एम एबल टू हिट दिस पोर्ट ओनली. नाउ आई एम नॉट एबल टू हिट इट. config t no First thing that I am suspecting कि this port should be configured as a trunk or not, because how the traffic will forward to this. Okay, first that I am expecting. So what we can do, config t IP route 8.0.0, subnet mask A000, and next hop is 192.168.0.1, and show IP route. My all subnet is connected via this. So let's test. So it's still not reachable. Okay.
So I configure my. I send my. Check your message box. I send one.
Okay. So you have okay, IP route 0 by 0, giga 0 by 0. These all three commands we need to configure. FA00 is not there. Giga 0 by 0 will not work. FA0 by 0 command could work. Okay. Let me test. Show IP route. Okay, it's saying that we are connected via this and this. So config T interface FA0 by 1 switch port trunk.
It's not necessary to these things. Trunk is not necessary.
Okay, on that port.
But in the router, we are not using any VLANs. So why should you trunk these things?
Good. So do tell me, so how it will be rectified?
Can't you not configure in routing table in router?
Mm-hmm.
First configure router in routing.
Okay, so I'm
I
just
sent one.
okay. So you are okay. So these commands should be configured on ISP router.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. So so all the routes will be connected automatically, right? Because we have done the static configuration on that router as well.
We are not any configuring here. Not there. There is no routing here.
On ISP switch.
Yes.
Because yeah, definitely there is no configuration required on that router. We need to do configuration on core switch only, right? So
But we
show
need both side routing cable. That's why in router ISP there is no routing table in static routing or default routing is not configured.
so you are saying that we need to configure static route on ISP router as well, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So okay. So once we will configure that, definitely that will be exchanged. So IP route 0.0.0 0.0.0 and exit interface will be giga 0 by 0. So default route without gateway is not point-to-point interface may impact the performance. So let's see.
Again, you are configuring gigabyte 0.0 0/0.
We got the ping. Now we have received that ping. Okay. So let let's hit from 10.192.168.0.1. So first packet will be dropped due to ARP request. Now we are able to get the ping. So on this router we have configured that. Show IP route. Okay, so all the connected via this will forward it. Let's test from this as well. Okay, so we are able to reach to the internet. Okay, now the first phase has been done. Let's suppose I kept I want to do link aggregation. Have you heard the concept about the link aggregation and all? Anyone?
No, sir.
Link aggregation doing VLANs via VLANs only.
No, link aggregation is not done for the VLAN. What I need, let me tell you. Okay. So let's suppose these are the two switches that we have. Okay. And delete this PC. So we have single link connected to the core switch. Okay. And we have only single link for the both switches. Now what I want to increase the redundancy for both of the switches. Okay, so by mistake this cable goes down, the link will come up by this, and this will down, this link will come by this. So what we will do, we will be bundling these port as a single link. So it will show you physically two links, but virtually it will work as a single link. So if we see, as we can see, let me zoom. See here the both port is up on the core switch, but on access switch it's one port is getting blocked, and the reason is due to STP. Show STP spanning tree. Show spanning tree summary. So it's saying that this port is alternative at this is blocked right now, because due to STP by default on Cisco switches STP works, and this also help us to avoid the loop in the network. On this, if we see on this side, we can see both the links are up, but on this switch we are getting one port blocked. So how we can verify that? Enable spanning tree, show spanning tree. So it's showing that one port is root, one port is designated, and one port is forwarding the traffic 0 by 1 coast this. So now I want to use these as a single link. So what we can do, we need to create a link aggregation protocol on that switch as well. So config t, what is the command? So I need to bundle both port 0 by 2 and 0 by 4 this side. Link ether channel interface port channel number and port channel number. Okay, interface type, interface number, channel group. Let's test interface port channel 1. Okay, now what's the command?
सर दो लिंक को बंडल करेंगे ना,
हाँ रुक तो जाओ।
तो पहले दोनों इंटरफेस के अंदर जाना पड़ेगा ना, ये इंटरफेस रेंज चला के।
कॉन्फ़िगर ether channel interface. Now interface type, number, channel group, mode, interface. Cannot bundle is not compatible with FA01 and suspended DTP.
सर मुझे ये पता है कि हम जिस पोर्ट को बंडल बनाते हैं ना, उन पोर्ट की रेंज लेके ना हम एक बार में कमांड चलाते हैं दोनों की।
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
हाँ सर, इंटरफेस रेंज करके
इंटरफेस पोर्ट चैनल वन था, स्विच पोर्ट मोड ट्रंक and interface whose encapsulation is auto cannot be trunk.
So check it your message box once.
I have seen that. So an interface whose trunk encapsulation is auto cannot be configured as a trunk. So first of all, what I will do, interface range with exit interface range FA0 by 2 FA0/4 channel group 1 mode active. No, it's not working again. FA04 port is not compatible with FA02. Why
सर
so?
बंडल
क्या बोल रहे हो?
सर वो ये नहीं बन रहा है क्योंकि बंडल के केस में टर्म एंड कंडीशन जो होती है ना, सेम डिवाइस होनी चाहिए सामने।
एग्जैक्टली ऐसा क्या? बट ये क्या बोल रहा है,
L2
FA02
L3
और FA04 यानी
हाँ तो
इस पोर्ट की बोर्ड दोनों साइड ना, मैं तो इस
नहीं
पोर्ट के
नहीं,
वो कर रहा
इधर
हूँ।
जो डिवाइस है L3 डिवाइस है ना,
अच्छा ये L3 है और ये है, इसलिए ठीक है। सो एक काम करते
इधर
हैं,
हमारी की कमांड चलती है और इधर हमारा ट्रंक पोर्ट में वाली चलती है।